Morning. As you can see, it snowed. So I figured I probably shouldn't bother the guys doing the actual work while I go take videos of myself talking. So obviously we're not in the field, hence the snow. But hopefully next week, although I think I've said hopefully next week for 2 weeks in a row now. But since we're not in the field, I'll give you guys a little update on the seed shed. And we're gonna go check out the field conditions quick, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what it looks like just harvest wise, obviously planting wise, since we will not be in the field as soon as we had liked, but it's still not super late yet, but we'll talk about that. Just give me a second. Alrighty, let's talk about the field conditions. There's snow. So I'd like to apologize for the wind. First of all, I'm using my phone, trying a new method of YouTubing. The ground is pretty soft. There's definitely still some moisture on the top, but it's supposed to be 60 tomorrow and super windy, so hopefully a lot of that dries out. It would have been nice to get some oats in the ground before this snow. You can see my fingers. I can dig decently deep on the top. I'm guessing it's still pretty frozen, pretty far down there, but this top stuff is actually pretty soft. You can see with my fingers, it's still very muddy though. And now that I think about it, I probably should have done that because now my fingers are covered in mud, and I have no ties or anything that get the dirt off it. So there's the infamous auger that's never moved. At least I looked like I did some work today. So field conditions, obviously we're not going to be planting today, but if the weatherman doesn't lie, and it's 60 tomorrow and 30 mile per hour winds, a lot of this stuff will melt and dry out very quickly, especially if that forecast holds for the next week. Ideally, we would be in the field on Monday, but realistically probably closer to Wednesday. But it all depends on the weather. So the field's somewhat ready to go. It's a lot closer to being planting ready than it was when Jack did that video about a week ago. So there's that. But I'm just pulling up to the new seed shed. We're going to talk about that, and then I'll talk about kind of the harvesting schedule, the estimated harvesting and planting schedule for the rest of the year. Oh, nice to see all this nice lumber laying around so it can get all wet and warped. Anyway, here's the new and improved. All the siding's on. Only thing that's missing is this big door. But you can see that old doorway is closed up. Got the new white door in. We're gonna get nice and wet walking underneath the water. Anyway, you can tell it's a real seed shed now because it has seed inside of it. So pretty much everything is done. So they knocked a lot of this out actually when it was 50 degrees, 40 degrees this week. Got pretty nice. Hence the ground being a lot softer than it was even a week ago. We're gonna crawl underneath the trailer here. So yeah, it's definitely getting closer to planting season. So that's exciting. And there's more seed. So let's talk about what this time of year, we're usually in the field this time of year. Probably 2 years ago we were in the field. A year ago we were definitely in the field. And it's not abnormal to be in the field just starting in April for oats. And honestly, it won't really affect us too much yet. Now, if it snowed and we couldn't get in the field, even rained, just all that stuff piled on top of each other for 2 or 3 more weeks, and we don't get in the field till late April or even early May for oats, then things start becoming a little bit more of an issue. And when I say an issue, it's not like the end of the world, but it's just really annoying. Obviously, when you can't get in the field when you want to. But is what that means. So if we got in the field, say today, we would be looking at a late July, early August oat harvest. Now, if we don't get in the field for another 2 weeks, we're looking at mid-August to late August, kind of towards the beginning of school around here in Iowa. Now, I haven't been around long enough to really know how that affects all the yields, all that stuff. But what I do know is the past 2 years, the oats have done pretty good. And we've gotten in the field second week of March, third week of March, and all the oats were in the ground before the second week in April. With that being said, we can still knock out all the oats planting wise in 5 days. So we're still looking pretty good time wise for oat planting. And bright side, if we get all the oats in the ground before the end of April, then it won't affect the corn planting at all. So that's really good also. Woo. Oh. Man, this feels good up in here. So with all that being said, are we really late to be in the field? No, but it feels like we're going to be late because the past 2 years we have been in the field for a few days now, and there wasn't snow on the ground. So that's kind of where we're sitting, ready to get in the field, hopefully in a week. And once we do get in the field, things will go really fast. So after we get all the oats seeded, then we'll run back over the ground that'll be corn with the red not so mean machines hooked up to the green mean machines. Say that 10 times fast. So then we'll level out all the ground going to corn at least once, just to kind of even things out, because a lot of that is going from plowed ground. So this field around us was corn, and it was moldboard plowed. I don't know if you did a video on this field or not. You can tell I plowed it because it's perfectly flat and just looks perfect. So we'll even it out at least once before we get in the field, and then once again right in front of the planters. And then, so that's 2 passes with the field cultivator. So no-till guys, you should probably just stop watching so I don't hurt your feelings. So we'll go over this twice before we plant any corn. All the cornfields will be gone over twice with the field cultivator, just to level things out and kill off some more weeds. So a big thing in organic farming, kill as many weeds as possible as often as you can. So the benefit, obviously, of going over your field twice, you kill twice as many weeds if you didn't. So that's one thing before corn. Then we'll plant the corn, and then after the corn's in the ground, obviously you have soybeans, and we'll go over some of the soybean fields, well, for sure twice, to level things out. Since the cornfields go to soybeans, they probably got disripped. So we'll one to flatten, one to kill the weeds. Then the soybeans will be in the ground, and then everybody can just be happy. Give you a quick little cab view of John Deere's new quad track. These are our 649 RXs, and those are 225s, Tiger Mates, some Case IH field cultivators. How neat is that? So obviously I'm excited, because all I do is talk about being in the field, but we'll get there soon enough. But we have a few things we want to get done before we get in the field. You can see my pants are dirty. That means I did work today. And you can tell my pickup is dirty. That means that the roads suck here in Iowa. Now, if you came here to this video today to get a really deep and in-depth insight of how being 2 weeks later in the field will affect your yields and your test weight for your organic oats, well, you came to the wrong place. But as a 21-year-old who's still learning how to do this whole farming thing, that's how I feel about being late in the field. Late. We're still not late, but in my brain we are, because usually at this point, since I've been a full-time farmer, we've been in the field. So I'm gonna be negative about it until we're in the field. I think that's called like seasonal depression, when every time each year you get depressed because something, and then once it changes, you're happy. I think we're gonna go with that. Now we're gonna go back inside the shop and see what they're up to. What's up to, Ben? Look who's back.
Just getting ready to start up planting, so just getting familiar with my cab and my tractor again, so.
You're doing good work, Hans. I don't think you heard me. So pretty much, as you can see, Ben's back, full-time employee again. He's not, but if I say it on YouTube, that's true, right? I'm gonna wash my hands since they're covered in dirt, since we did a nice little, I don't know what you'd call it, me digging in the dirt. You can see we really haven't done much more on this besides the tanks are on it now, so that's cool. Yeah. Alright, that's enough of that. They're not doing a whole lot. One thing they were talking about is putting hand washer stations on the tractors. I think like right there. Right there. I suppose. I think you'd be better off putting like a shoe or boot washing station right here. Like on this bottom step, and you can just go whoop, whoop. Put the other one up there, do that, and you have a nice clean cab. But we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Once you start doing things like that, you can do a million other things, which will be quality of life or upgrades. What's up, Will? I think he's still YouTube shy. He'll come around. We got a few new guys on the workforce this year, so you're gonna meet a whole lot of new faces, hopefully. Unless you guys, well, I don't really know if it's up to you guys. It's probably up to them. But a lot of the people don't want to be on YouTube. They think the government's gonna watch them, but in reality, it's just a bunch of dudes just looking at a guy who has no idea what's going on, and that's just the way it is. Now I actually have my wedding reception to go to, so I should probably go get ready for that. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, leave a like, subscribe, put the notification bell on, because the next video you guys see is gonna be us in the field. And if we're not in the field for 2 weeks, then you won't get a video for 2 weeks. But we're not doing another video of complaining about how the weather conditions are, unless you guys really enjoy hearing about that, which I'm fine complaining. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's complaining. So anyway, leave a like, subscribe, we'll catch you in the next one.